Hello, welcome to How to Build a Team podcast. So we are doing this experiment, doing a recording on Zoom and also going live on Facebook, hitting two birds in one stone. So let's do this, David. Today's episode, we want to talk about the three steps on how to build a digital marketing team. And we're going to go through each of the steps, discuss that, talk about that, and if we have some questions that come from Facebook, then we're going to accommodate that. So let's start off with the first step, which is define your ideal team.
Right.
Yeah. So it is kind of challenging to build a digital marketing team, but you have to first understand what exactly you are looking for. And then through that, you will be able to have a structure on what you really need, what type of team members you need. And then you take it from there. So define your ideal team, understand what exactly you are looking for. And, you don't have to figure everything out. You just have to have an idea of what types of skills that are necessary for you to come up with a marketing strategy. And these are SEO, social media, email marketing, advertising, or you call it digital advertising. So having those skills, then you already know what type of team member you're looking for. So in a business, you need to optimize your content, you need to optimize your website, everything, the video, the images, the content, everything that you have on your website, so that you will be found in Google, in search, in every search engine. And I really believe that every business should have that. So SEO. So who does SEO? Obviously, SEO manager, SEO specialist. Second one is social media. So you will be needing someone who understands social media marketing. So find someone who has this skill, social media specialist, social media manager, or social media community manager. Those skills are very important right now in this era that we have, digital marketing world. Everybody is into social media. That's why we are doing this Facebook Live and trying it out for the first time. Right. We're kind of behind actually for doing this because David and I are both, camera shy. So we haven't really done this, but there's always a first time, so here we are doing this so that we can reach out to as many people as we can to help them how to build their team, whether it's a physical team or a remote team. So there.
Yeah, I just want to add one point on the social media part. You talked about somebody who's got skills as a social media manager or community manager.
Yeah.
But the other side of social media is the graphic and the content part of it.
Right.
You've got to make sure that the person that you're hiring, if they're coming to you as a complete social media solution, you've got to make sure that they have the skills to do the graphics work, to create the graphic design that you're going to use for your posts on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to come up with all of the ideas for what's going to be on those posts, you need to make sure that the person you're hiring also has some copywriting skills or research skills to be able to go out and find the content that's relevant to your business, what you're trying to do, to your niche,
right?
And be able to do that. So there's so much to social media that I think a lot of times it gets glossed over, and a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm a social media specialist," but without defining really what that means. And if you're looking to hire somebody to manage your social media, you need to ask those questions is, look at accounts that they're managing or have managed in the past. Do you like the quality of the work? And ask them point blank, do you do the graphics work yourself, or is somebody else going to do that? Do you do the research, or is somebody else going to do that? Do you do copywriting? Do you do the posting and the scheduling? Do you, there's so many aspects that go to it. So it's I hear it all the time that people, I'm a digital marketer, or I'm a social media strategist, I'm a social media manager.
Yeah.
They don't have all of those skills. They're relying on the client to provide them with so much of this information, and they just want to do the posting.
And good thing you added this point, because as the CEO, as the president, as the owner of your business, your main role is to do the marketing strategy, or at least do the 80%, 90% of the strategy. And the reason why you want to find these people who have these skills is because you need these people to implement or execute your strategy, and you can't do this on your own. Now that we are in a digital transformation, there are so many moving pieces, and I'm telling you, you will be overwhelmed. You will be drowned with so many tasks. And you have to have a structure first before you can build a team. Because once you have the structure, once you have the strategy, then the hiring of this individual people or an agency that already has this team of team players, then everything will just fall into place. But you have to, again, you don't have to figure everything out. You just need to know what type of skills you need for you to be able to build your team. And that is step number 1, define your ideal team. Step number 2, would you like to discuss that, David?
Step 2 in our list has to do with the actual hiring of either individuals or a team that you're going to have. And I know a lot of entrepreneurs don't have a lot of experience in interviewing and hiring people. Some people do. If you're coming out of a corporate world, now as an entrepreneur, you may have some experience. But a lot of true entrepreneurs don't know how to properly interview and hire people. And they tend to make decisions based on, I need a job done, and I'm going to hire the best person I can to get that job, the person with the most skill to do that job. And while you always want to make sure you've got people with experience and skills to do the task at hand, you need to also keep in mind the soft skills that go along with this.
Right.
Is this a person that you're going to be able to communicate with? You can be the smartest business owner and you can find the smartest technician to do something. But if the two of you can't communicate, then that relationship's not going to work out, and you're not going to have found the right hire. So when you're interviewing people, you need to keep in your mind, not just do they have the technical skills and the experience, and they can prove that, but how well do they communicate? Are you able to ask them questions and get the answers to that actual question? Are they avoiding your answers? And it comes down, and we hear this all the time, is language skills or just communication skills. Whether the person is they may speak English, but do you understand them? Is there an accent involved? Things like that you need to keep in mind. And so don't always just keep your eye out for the best person, the most skilled person at this task, but also how well you can get along with them, how well you can communicate, what sort of teams and what kind of projects they've worked on in the past. Are those similar to what projects you're looking for?
Yeah.
You don't want somebody necessarily coming out of a big, big corporate environment that's going to work for you in your startup. You may have just yourself, you may have one other employee. If somebody's used to working in a big corporate environment, they may not have all of those soft skills that you're going to need in order to be successful.
True. Without the soft skills that are necessary for things like team collaboration or leadership, it's nothing if, even though you have this 100 certifications, or you've got 20 years of experience, but you don't know how to collaborate with your team, and it's not going to work, because it is a vital skills as well. Those soft skills are very, very important for for a business to be successful, for the project to be successful. So don't ignore those soft skills as well. Hard skills are very important, of course, because these are the things that you want to take a look at when you're hiring an SEO specialist, a social media marketing manager, an email marketing specialist, or a digital advertising manager. But you also need to pay attention to the soft skills, and there are tools out there that can help you determine these soft skills, because during the first interview it's very hard to spot on these soft skills, because if you stumble upon a candidate who are very well has a good communication skills, then it's hard to know if that person can collaborate with the rest of your team, or can deliver your the project on time, things like that. So find something that will help you to be able to determine the soft skills. A series of interview can also help that. Having a video call as for interview can also somehow help that, because you can see the body language, the facial expression, and that will speak a lot. You will be able to, it's kind of like having a face-to-face interview with a candidate, having that video call with a candidate. So that will also help you determine that soft skill.
I can't imagine ever hiring somebody based on just an email conversation or even just a voice conversation.
Yeah.
Having that video connection is so important to be able to determine how well you can communicate.
Yeah. So I guess the key there is to find balance between the hard skill and the soft skill. So let me share, I just remember this. Let me share a story that we encountered in the past. When we were starting out, we've got our share of failure and success in hiring the right people in our team. And I remember we have this VA before, and she speaks well. She can communicate well. She can communicate in English well, neutral accent. She has the skills. She came from a digital marketing agency, and she knows a lot of LinkedIn advertising, email marketing. When I asked her to give me a report or a presentation that we were gonna discuss to the client, she does that. She did that very, very good. But that's the hard skill. The soft skill, of course, you will know it or discover it as you go along. And the team collaboration, yes, check. But the when it comes to delivering the project on time, failed. So it's really, I don't know, maybe it's it takes a while, or for you not to be able to experience the same mistake that we had, is go through a process. We already have the process, but we experienced that failure. So I guess having a structure in the beginning will help you in that aspect, wherein you don't have to to terminate a contract or rehire and train again a new person. So, a series of interview will help, and probably a test. We've mentioned this in our previous episodes, on how you hire a star player. So, a series of interview. One interview won't really get you to really making the right decision in hiring the right fit. So do probably 3 series of interview, and then do some tests before you finally hire. And then maybe I'm thinking, I just thought about this, but we did this in the past as well. Try this person for a month or for 2 weeks and see how everything goes. If that person is really a good fit.
Right.
So yeah. So I think that's that for step number 2. Let soft skills influence hiring decisions. So for step 3, place importance on day-to-day operations. Have a plan in place before you bring on a team. Just like what I mentioned earlier, you have to have a structure. There were clients that we had in the past who were like, somebody told me I need to have a team. Somebody told me I need to hire a virtual assistant because, I'm going to look more professional and successful if I have an assistant. But actually, when we did onboard them, they really don't have a structure. And the downside of that, not having a structure in your business, is that you're going to feel that hiring a team or hiring a virtual assistant or a project manager or an SEO or whoever that you need that during that time will be a failure, and you will feel like it is not the right time for me to hire somebody yet.
Right.
Because everything fails. But actually, if you're going to really look into your business, you don't have a structure. So put out a plan, put out a structure on how you would like to make your business grow, on how are you going to go from point A to point Z. And then through that, everything will fall into place. Structure, strategy, then hire, and then you are now building your own digital marketing team. For the second,
it doesn't have to take a long time to do that. It's if you were going to hire a physical employee, you would have some idea in your head of what tasks or what projects you wanted that person to work on.
Right.
You might have created a job description or at least an outline of specific tasks or duties.
Mm-hmm.
And hiring a virtual person, whether it's one person or an entire team, shouldn't be any different. Before you even start interviewing, because you need to know who to interview, you have to have some idea of what it is you want this person or this group of people to accomplish for your business.
Right.
So it's, you don't have to have reams of paper and a big study and all of this done.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have some idea of why it is you're hiring somebody. And some start. It's going to be a dynamic list, especially if you're newer to hiring employees or outsourcing employees.
Mm-hmm.
The list and the process is going to be dynamic. It's going to change.
Yes.
But you can't go out and say, I need a VA. My coach told me I needed a VA, or all of my friends or all of my peers or everybody in my network has a VA, so I'm going to hire a VA. It's a complete waste of your time and your money if you go into a situation like that without some kind of a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be complete, but at least you have to have some idea of where you're going.
True. And you have to invest in the proper tools. So let's say you already hired these individuals, but you don't have a tool. So again, you need to go back to the basic. You need to have a plan. You need to have a structure, and then invest in the tools. The first tool that we had was project management tool, because I want everything to be organized. A project management tool and a communication tool. So those are the two main tools that your team can start off with. But of course, aside from those tools, let's say you will be working with a social media manager, then you also need to have a tool for social media. Agora Pulse is one good tool. It's very robust. You can interact within the tool. You don't have to log into each of the accounts that you have. You just have one place and everything is there, your LinkedIn, your Twitter, Instagram, your YouTube. And then you can see all the people who liked from, in each content, in each platforms. And then you can interact directly there. You can like their comment. You can comment and reply to their comment. So it's very robust. There are tons of tools out there. So depending on what individual you have and what they need for them to be able to accomplish the task or the project that you assign to them, then definitely invest in that tool. Because without a tool, it's going to be a disaster. You will get lost in tracking and documenting everything that you've done. So yeah, and there are studies also that shows that businesses who use these management tools increase project success rates by 88%. And in speaking through experience, I can tell that we are using different tools to manage different projects. And aside from getting everything organized and getting everything documented, it just helps us, scale each project, and it drives success really, because you can see where your team member is getting stuck. You can go back to the previous task and see what went wrong, what is still pending, what is in progress, and what's been completed and done. So yeah, invest those tools, project management tools. We are using Asana. I'm an avid fan of Asana. I really like how it works. It takes time to learn this stuff, but there are some basic, very simple project management tool. If this is going to be like your first time to use a project management tool to keep track of everything, of your projects, of your task, and assign it to these people that you have onboarded, Basecamp, I find it very simple. Actually, Basecamp, I think, if I am not mistaken, is the very first project management tool that's been launched since I can't remember when, but that is Basecamp is one of the first project management tool out there. And then
very user friendly.
Yes, very simple. And then for communication tool, we are using Slack. I think that is very popular. Everyone in the business industry or know about Slack. You can use, I don't recommend Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp because it's hard to track, and there are so many good features in a paid Slack. So take a look at that. There are other communication tools as well. Do your research and invest in those tools. And what else do we need to mention here?
I think we've talked about scheduling software. We've talked about project management, communication, Slack. Even if you're a small team, even if it's just you and one employee or you and one virtual person, use Slack.
Yeah.
Don't try and communicate stuff on a day, like during your day, using email or text messaging or Facebook Messenger. If you've never used Slack, it allows you to compartmentalize your different conversations or your different projects. So even if it's just you and one other person, but you have different tasks or different projects, you can keep your conversations specific to that project.
Yeah.
So that when you're going back trying to find something about a certain project that's going on, you don't have to go through 1,000 messages about other things before you find that one you're looking for. You're able to look through that specific conversation. It's, for me, when I started using Slack, it was a game changer. I can now in a heartbeat go and find a conversation whether it's with you or whether it's with one of our project managers or one of our VAs, somebody on our design team, I can go straight to where I know that conversation is going to be and find the link that I need or the answer that I need.
Yeah.
And Slack's free in the beginning. For a small team, it works as a free tool very, very well.
Mm-hmm. If it's just, wanting to reach out to your team, like for example, what we do is I still prefer that all of the communication happen in Asana because it gets documented. But for immediate response, let's say a team member is working on a specific task and that person has some questions, then Slack is the go-to tool, for immediate response and for, exchanging ideas. And you don't have to jump on a call because it's not really a major kind of like brainstorming type of thing. Then Slack is a good way of communicating, using that as your another tool. Yeah. So to cap this, building a digital marketing team is no different in drafting a sports team. If you're gonna look at NBA or whatever type of sports, they are very good at drafting players. The coach or whoever, the manager, already has an idea of the skills, the characters, the skills of the team player or the experience as well. The coach already has a list of these things before they start drafting these team players. And I think if we're just going to apply this what do you call this? If we're going to apply this strategy to your business in drafting, let's say drafting your own team players for your business, I think you're going to have an amazing digital marketing team in no time, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, just let's do a recap. Step 1, define your ideal team. Step 2, let soft skills influence hiring decisions because soft skills are important as well. Step 3, place importance on day-to-day operations. So I think that's it for this episode. If you guys find it valuable, then please let us know by writing a comment and rating us. And don't forget to subscribe. You will find us on Facebook, on Instagram, find us on LinkedIn as well. And you can check us out at our page, greatworkonline.com. I think that's it. Thank you, guys.
And thanks, guys.
And we'll catch you again on the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.